Welcome back to the Better You channel, where each book is not merely knowledge, but a doorway to a new world, a place where we can have a dialogue with our own soul. On this channel, I don't just summarize books. I don't just repeat the words that already exist on the page. What I want is to listen, together with you, to the voice hidden deep within each work. Reading, for me, is a journey of transformation, a transformation of perception, a transformation of emotion, and sometimes even a transformation of the way we choose to live. I believe that when we truly connect with a book, it becomes a companion, at times gently supportive, at times powerfully awakening, and that is exactly the value I want to share with you through each review video. Today, we will step into one of the books that has become a global symbol, The Alchemist by the Brazilian author Paulo Coelho. This is not only a story about a young man searching for treasure. It is also a mirror reflecting the deepest human longing, the longing to live a life without regret, the longing to be free to pursue one's own dreams. Perhaps you have heard of The Alchemist. Maybe you have read it, or perhaps you have only come across the title somewhere. But what makes this work so special is not only the simplicity of its pages, but the fact that it has touched the hearts of millions, crossing all boundaries of language, culture, and religion. And in today's journey, we will seek together the answer to a question both familiar and strange. Where does true motivation come from? Does motivation come from advice, from rewards, or from external pressure? Or is true motivation the flame that lies deep within each of us, simply waiting for the right moment to ignite? The Alchemist will serve as the map to guide us, so that each of us can reflect and find our own answer. When we are in our 20s, many people carry within themselves a heart full of passion, but also no small amount of confusion. We long to achieve something great, yet we are still unsure of the path we should take. By the age of 25, amid the struggles of making a living, we sometimes ask ourselves, am I really living the life I want? Then, at 30, when responsibilities begin to grow heavier on our shoulders, the question, should I start over to pursue my dream? Once again keeps many awake at night. These uncertainties are not the worries of just one person, but a very natural journey of human beings in the search for meaning in life. We want to know, what is the real reason to wake up every morning? What is the motivation that helps us overcome failure? And where is the lighthouse that illuminates the unclear road ahead? The Alchemist appears as a simple yet profound answer. A parable that seems straightforward carries within it the power to awaken millions of hearts, reminding us that every person has a personal legend, a unique dream which, if we dare to pursue it, the entire universe will conspire to help us. It is no coincidence that this work has been translated into 81 languages, sold in over 170 countries, and become a global phenomenon, on par with religion or football in Brazil. Paulo Coelho did not just tell a story. He wrote a mirror in which every reader can see their own reflection, with their dreams, their stumbles, and the faith that must be preserved. The Alchemist tells the story of Santiago, a shepherd boy in Spain. He lives a peaceful, simple life, wandering each day with his flock across vast fields. Yet deep within, Santiago always carries a longing, the desire to go farther, to discover more, to live a life not confined within familiar routines. One night, Santiago dreams of a hidden treasure in Egypt. The dream repeats again and again, urging him to leave his flock behind and set out on a journey. And so it begins, a journey that at first glance seems to be about finding material treasure, but in truth is a quest for spiritual treasure, a journey to discover his true self within. What is fascinating is that author Paulo Coelho did not write this work out of pure spontaneity. His own life, from a rebellious youth, being imprisoned, to embarking on a 700-kilometer pilgrimage along the Santiago de Compostela route, forged the very experiences that he wove into every page of the book. In many ways, Santiago is both a fictional character and an incarnation of the author himself, as well as a symbol of each one of us. The story may appear simple, just a young man searching for treasure, yet it carries an immense power through its symbolism. The treasure is not merely gold and silver, but dreams, the purpose of life itself. Santiago is not just a character in a novel. He is the image of anyone who has ever stood at a crossroads in life. And the message that the book conveys is crystal clear. To live without purpose is no different from being lost in a maze, where you may keep walking forever, but never see the light at the end of the path. Santiago's journey is divided into many stages, and each stage carries a valuable lesson for anyone in search of their dreams. At the beginning, Santiago gives up the arranged path his parents wanted for him in order to become a shepherd. That decision may seem small, but it is the very first step of daring to live in his own way. When he dreams of treasure and meets the King of Salem, Santiago hears a reminder. Every person has a personal legend, something they were born to fulfill. And only when they dare to pursue that destiny do they truly live. That teaching ignites within Santiago a fierce flame of aspiration. Upon setting foot in Africa, Santiago immediately faces hardship. He loses all his money and feels lost in a foreign language. But remembering the king's words, he does not collapse, because when a person is determined, the entire universe quietly conspires to help them. At the crystal shop, Santiago works tirelessly. His ideas help revive the store, proving that creativity and perseverance can turn difficulties into opportunities. He learns the value of labor, of accumulating little by little, and of having faith in himself. Even when he gains a comfortable life at the crystal shop, Santiago still decides to let it go and continue his journey. This is one of the most important lessons. If you settle for safety, you will never reach the greatest dream of your life. At the oasis, Santiago meets Fatima, the love of his life. But once again, he must choose to stop and stay with love, or to continue the journey. Santiago comes to understand that true love is not possession, but the force that pushes us to fulfill our dreams. When facing his greatest trial, captured and forced to turn into the wind, Santiago learns to connect with the soul of the universe. This is not only the climax of the story, but also a metaphor for the unity between human beings and nature, between the individual and the invisible power of life. And finally, Santiago finds the treasure right in his homeland, the place where it all began. That message is deeply profound. The journey outward is not to discover something new, but to return and realize that the treasure has always been within our own heart. The Alchemist is not merely a novel, but a scripture of dreams and the motivation to live. The first message is this: true motivation does not come from rewards or external pressure, but from the flame within each person. When we discover our reason for living, we gain enough strength to overcome any hardship. People often regret what they did not dare to do, rather than what they tried and failed. Santiago dared to take the step, and because of that, he found himself. This is a lesson everyone needs to remember. Hesitation can steal away an entire lifetime. Dreams must be acted upon immediately, like red-hot steel that must be forged at the right moment. Delay only cools the fire of passion. All difficulties are in fact challenges. They come to train our will and help us grow. If Santiago had not lost all his money, if he had not been tested, perhaps he would never have become so strong. Sometimes, letting go of safety is the condition for achieving greatness. If Santiago had settled at the crystal shop, the story would have ended far too soon, but it would have been a dull ending, forgotten by all. And finally, the journey matters more than the destination. The treasure is not just gold and silver, but experiences, lessons, love, and growth. That is what creates true value in life. When I first read The Alchemist, I never thought such a simple story could leave such a profound aftertaste. Perhaps it is because within each of us there is a part of Santiago, once confused, once yearning, once hesitant at the threshold of a major decision. What struck me the most was the part where Santiago worked at the crystal shop. There, he learned that even the smallest tasks, when done with faith and creativity, can change an entire life. This made me reflect on myself. Sometimes we are so busy chasing distant dreams that we forget every small step we take each day also shapes the greater path ahead. Another point that made me ponder is the ending. The treasure turns out to be right in his own homeland. How many times in life do we go searching for happiness in faraway places, only to realize it has always been within us? After closing the book, I learned to cherish what is near: family, friends, the simple moments that we sometimes overlook. For me, The Alchemist is not just a novel, but a silent teacher, reminding us, never forget your dream, never fear to take a step forward, and never underestimate the value of the journey. If you are listening up to this point, perhaps you too are carrying a dream within you, whether big or small. The Alchemist wants to remind us, keep that dream in your heart and pursue it with courage. Because true motivation always comes from within you. I hope that each of us can live responsibly with our own dreams, and let our lives shine, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. If you feel this video touched your heart, please leave a like and share it to spread the message. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss upcoming book reviews. And I would also love to hear your thoughts. What was the most profound message The Alchemist left in you? Please share in the comments below.